As the first rays of the new day brushed against the golden grass tips of the Serengeti, the wild world awakened in a display of magnificent and pure beauty. It was around 8 a.m. The sky wore a gentle shade of blue, and the golden sunlight poured down like honey, illuminating every corner of this ancient land. Amidst this radiant scenery, Mark's safari vehicle was rolling slowly when it suddenly jolted to a halt. Ahead, beside a sun-drenched acacia grove, a tragedy was silently unfolding. Nala, a lioness in the final stages of her pregnancy, lay collapsed on the hard ground. Her breath was labored and heavy, a stark contrast to the vibrant life surging all around her. But what truly moved Mark was the presence of Leo. Usually a majestic sovereign, the king of the plains now stood quietly beside his mate, his muscles rippling under the morning sun, but his eyes reflecting a profound depth of despair. Instead of roaring to drive away the strangers, Leo emitted low, muffled grunts filled with pain. He looked directly at Mark, a gaze both regal and pleading that shattered the barriers between man and beast. Mark understood. This was not a hunt. It was a plea for help. He hurried to grab the radio. "Dispatch, this is Safari 1. We have a critical emergency at Sector 4. Nala is suffering from birth complications. She's immobile. And Leo? It seems he is begging us to save his family." Less than 20 minutes after the desperate call, white dust billowing on the horizon signaled the arrival of the rangers and medical experts. Leading the team was Dr. Sarah, a woman who had spent over a decade deciphering the language of lions. As her mobile clinic approached the scene under the intensifying morning sun, a major challenge arose: how to reach a dying lioness when she was guarded by a 200 kilograms male in a state of high agitation. Leo never took his eyes off the vehicles. When Sarah stepped down, Leo stood abruptly, his massive shoulders tensed, letting out a roar that echoed across the savannah. It wasn't a predatory roar, but a primal warning from a husband and father trying to protect what little he had left. Sarah signaled her team to stop. She understood that in the world of survival, violence is never the answer to a heart breaking with anxiety. She decided to employ a tactic she called respectful connection. Instead of using a tranquilizer gun, which could make Leo aggressive and endanger him, Sarah had a secondary truck approach from the opposite side, carrying fresh meat and cool water to draw his attention. Under the scorching heat of 9 a.m., Leo's exhaustion and thirst were real. After a few moments of tense hesitation, looking back at Nala one last time as if to reassure her, Leo slowly moved toward the water, creating a safe corridor just wide enough for the medical team to intervene. Sarah immediately knelt beside Nala. She felt the searing heat radiating from the pale golden fur and saw the abdominal muscles of the lioness contracting painfully but fruitlessly. "She has dystocia, obstructed labor due to exhaustion and severe dehydration." Sarah spoke quickly into her headset. "We don't have much time. The fetal heartbeats are weakening." The rescue became a race against death. The team worked with the precision of a clock. 6 strong men alongside Sarah gently, but decisively moved Nala onto a specialized stretcher. Every movement had to be incredibly careful not to harm the tiny lives inside. As the doors of the mobile clinic closed, sealing out the harsh Serengeti sun with modern sterile space, a new boundary was set. Outside, Leo stood still, watching the van, his eyes reflecting the sun and carrying a faint glimmer of hope that only soulful beings can feel. The real battle for life had officially begun behind the cold steel shell. Inside the mobile clinic, the vibrant and bustling world of the Serengeti was pushed far behind the steel doors. In its place was an unnerving silence, broken only by the hiss of the ventilator and the steady beep-beep of the heart rate monitor. The cold white light of the surgical lamp fell upon Nala's massive frame, highlighting the contrast between the power of an apex predator and the fragility of a mother on the brink. Dr. Sarah quickly moved the ultrasound probe across Nala's swollen belly. On the grainy screen, black and white images appeared. 2 tiny heartbeats, fast and rhythmic, were visible, but Sarah noticed a grim sign. The numbers on the monitor were dropping. "Fetal heart rates are falling below the safety threshold," she announced, her voice calm but filled with urgency. "And here it is. Both cubs are in a breech position. They are completely stuck." The situation was dire. If she used deep anesthesia for complex surgery, the drugs would cross the placenta and could stop the cub's hearts instantly. But without intervention, Nala would die of exhaustion along with her offspring. Sarah took a deep breath and made a bold decision. We won't do a full surgery yet. I'm going to attempt manual fetal rotation with the help of local muscle relaxants. Nala, you have to help me, good girl. Sarah's fingers, accustomed to soothing the pains of wild animals, now had to perform a task requiring absolute precision. She reached in, feeling the intense heat and pressure within Nala's body. Every millimeter moved was a calculated risk. Sweat began to bead on Sarah's forehead despite the air conditioning running at full blast. She could feel the tiny lives inside struggling weakly, as if searching for a way toward the light. Just a little more. Just a little more, Sarah whispered like a prayer. After 10 minutes of extreme tension, just when hope seemed to have run dry, Sarah felt a shift. The position of the first cub had turned. Using all her skill and remaining strength, she assisted Nala through one final push. A tiny life, drenched and motionless, was brought out. The room held its breath. The first cub wasn't breathing. Sarah quickly rubbed its chest vigorously with a warm towel to stimulate the lungs while an assistant cleared the airways. 1 second, 2 seconds. Then a tiny, weak, but sharp mew rang out, piercing the heavy atmosphere. It was the most beautiful sound Sarah had ever heard. But the battle wasn't over. The second cub was still trapped, and Nala's heart began to show signs of arrhythmia from the strain. As the first cry of the first cub faded, the pressure inside the ambulance surged again. Nala was now completely spent. Her heart rate on the monitor displayed unstable, jagged waves. The second life, slightly smaller, remained trapped in a terrifying silence. Dr. Sarah did not allow herself a single second to savor the budding joy. She continued her decisive handwork, coordinating seamlessly with the assistants who were actively providing oxygen to Nala. After one last grueling effort to rotate the fetus, the second cub was born. Unlike its brother, this cub was stronger. The moment it left the womb, it began to squirm and let out a bold call for its mother. 2 small flames of life had been lit, but the great fire, Nala herself, was fading. She had given every last drop of energy to her children, and her body was now falling into postpartum shock. Prepare high-dose 4 fluids and a glucose mix, Sarah ordered, her eyes fixed on the blood pressure monitor. She began mechanical massages to stimulate circulation while placing ice packs at strategic points to lower Nala's body temperature, which was spiking from heat stroke. In that moment, silence enveloped the clinic, save for the rapid breathing of the 2 cubs in the incubator and the faint heartbeat of the mother. Outside, the morning sun had turned brilliant, illuminating all things. Leo had not left. He had drunk water and regained some strength, but his mind seemed locked onto the yellow and green steel block sitting in the clearing. He paced back and forth, occasionally stopping to crane his neck toward the van doors. The spiritual connection between these wild creatures is a miracle that science sometimes struggles to explain. Leo seemed to understand that a silent war was being waged behind those doors, and his patience was his greatest support for his mate. About an hour later, a sigh of relief escaped Sarah. Nala's vitals began to stabilize. The lioness's eyes flickered, then slowly opened, though they were still cloudy from medication and exhaustion.
There we go,
"Welcome
sweet
back,
girl.
Nala," Sarah
You're safe
whispered,
with us now.
gently stroking the short fur on her head. She signaled the assistant to bring the 2 little ones
they're
close
bonding
so
nicely.
Nala could catch their scent. The maternal instinct is the most miraculous restorative medicine. As soon as she felt the warmth and the rich scent of her 2 cubs, Nala managed a soft rumble in her throat. A greeting, a confirmation that she would not give up. Her gaze was no longer the one of despair from 8 a.m., but one of extraordinary resolve. Thanks to the intersection of human compassion and the fierce will to survive, this lion family had squeezed through the narrow gate of destiny. As the sun climbed high, shedding the morning mist to drape the Serengeti in a golden cloak, the rescue team prepared for the most important moment, returning the small family to the embrace of nature. A shaded area under an ancient acacia tree was chosen for the reunion. The rangers quickly set up a temporary protective perimeter to ensure maximum peace for this sacred moment. The ambulance doors opened, and Nala stepped down slowly. Though her steps were slightly wobbly from the aftermath of the harrowing birth, the majesty of the lioness had returned to her eyes. Dr. Sarah carefully carried the two cubs, placing them on the sun-scented dry grass right in front of Nala. For a moment, the entire savanna seemed to stop breathing. Nala leaned down, using her rough tongue to gently lick the spotted fur of her cubs. It was a gesture of possession, of unconditional love, and a confirmation. From now on, they had a mother to protect them. In the distance, Leo appeared. He approached with an unusually calm demeanor, without a hint of aggression. The mighty king narrowed his eyes at his mate and the two new members of the kingdom. Leo gently touched his nose to Nala's ear, a tender nuzzle that served as a thank you and a sign of understanding. The image of the lion family huddled together in the shade, amidst the rustling wind of the plains, was a powerful testament to the miracle of compassion. Watching the scene through binoculars, Mark and Sarah knew their mission was complete. They quietly packed their equipment, not wanting to disturb the family's privacy. In the rescue log, Sarah wrote just one short line: "Family stable. Life goes on." As the rescue vehicles disappeared behind the high mounds, leaving the Serengeti to its true masters, we are reminded of a profound lesson. Amidst the harsh laws of survival, sometimes a helping hand from a human is the bridge between an end and a new beginning. Leo, in his moment of greatest despair, chose to place his trust in humans, and that trust was rewarded with the life of an entire future generation. Nature, with all its grandeur and mystery, always knows how to heal itself if we give it enough respect and love. Today, on this ancient Serengeti land, a new chapter has been written. The two cubs will grow, learn to hunt, and continue to rule this land, carrying with them the story of a summer morning when man and beast together composed a symphony of kindness.